Have you ever paused mid-thought and wondered, what exactly am I chasing? Every day we wake up and step into a rhythm that feels urgent. We race to meet deadlines, accumulate wealth, prove competence, build legacies. But for what? Alan Watts challenged this very rhythm of modern life, not with cynicism, but with profound clarity. He said, "We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage which had a serious purpose at the end. But the thing was to get to that end. Success, or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along." That right there is the trap. We've been taught that life is a problem to be solved, a mountain to climb, a battle to win. But Watts flips it. Life is not a problem, it's a play. It's a cosmic dance. And the moment we realize that, we stop marching and start moving with grace. Most of us are terrified of this idea. Because if life truly is a dance, then it means we can't control it the way we thought we could. And that strikes at the heart of our modern identity. We want to plan everything, master everything, be in control of everything. But Watts reminds us that control is largely an illusion, something the ego clings to in order to feel safe. Consider the cat before a storm. It doesn't analyze the barometric pressure. It doesn't consult a forecast. It simply knows. It listens to signals we've long forgotten to hear. And that's what life is asking from us, not more effort, but more awareness, not more rigidity, but more play. So the question becomes, can you let go of the illusion of control long enough to actually experience what's already happening?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
This leads us to a brutal realization. Many of us are living by rules we never agreed to. We inherited expectations about success, relationships, and happiness from systems that were never designed with our joy in mind. School taught us obedience, not wisdom. Work taught us productivity, not purpose. Society taught us visibility, not authenticity. So here's the raw, uncomfortable truth. If you feel like something's missing in your life, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're playing someone else's game. Alan Watts believed that the ego, the I we think we are, is a social hallucination. A role we play so convincingly, we forget it's not the whole of us. He said trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. So what happens when we stop playing? Not in defeat, but in awakening? What happens when we stop chasing and start being? We begin to notice things, small things, the way your breath moves when you're not controlling it, the way a tree sways without asking which direction the wind will come from, the way joy rises spontaneously when you're not trying to impress anyone. These aren't accidents, they're reminders, signals. Just like the cat senses the storm, your being senses truth when it's near. But if you're too busy performing, you'll miss it. That's the paradox. The more seriously we take the game, the less we remember how to play. And yet, playing is our original nature. Children know this. They don't build sandcastles for the sake of legacy. They build them to build. And when the tide comes, they don't mourn the loss. They laugh, and they start again. So here's the real question. What would your life look like if you treated it like a dance instead of a destination? What would shift if you stopped trying to win and started trying to wonder? This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or discipline. It means infusing it with presence, curiosity, and surrender. It means asking every day, am I moving from love or fear? Am I building from truth or obligation? Watts didn't tell us what to think. He invited us to wake up, to stop being hypnotized by identity, status, and control. To remember that we are not drops in the ocean. We are the ocean, temporarily pretending to be drops. So I ask you now, not rhetorically, but genuinely, if you stop chasing approval, what would you do today? And more importantly, why aren't you doing it already? Why you're still playing someone else's game and how to wake up, let's be honest. Most of us inherited our life script before we were old enough to question it. We were told what success looks like, how love should feel, what careers matter, and even what kind of person we should aspire to be. The tragedy isn't that we accepted these rules, it's that we mistook them for truth. Alan Watts often warned against mistaking the map for the territory. We live according to mental constructs, categories, labels, and ideals that were handed to us. But those are just maps, not reality. You can be wildly successful by society's standards and feel completely empty. Why? Because you've been climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. And that's the silent crisis of our time, people achieving everything they were told to want, only to find out it doesn't make them feel alive. Watts challenges us to wake up from this trance, to realize that the roles we've been playing, student, worker, spouse, achiever, are not who we are. They are masks, useful perhaps, but ultimately temporary. He asks what would happen if you stopped trying to become someone and simply allowed yourself to be. That sounds simple, but it's terrifying. Because being requires vulnerability. It requires surrender. It requires letting go of the ego's frantic need to be special, to be seen, to be right. Most of us, without realizing it, are addicted to becoming. We're addicted to improvement, to self-optimization, to endless transformation. But what if the very act of trying to become more is what's keeping you from realizing you're already enough? This is where the game becomes clear. The system profits off your dissatisfaction. The economy thrives when you feel incomplete. When you believe you need the next thing, better clothes, a better body, a better title, you stay on the treadmill. You stay predictable, controllable. But what if the most radical act in your life is to stop running? To look around and say, this moment, right now, is enough. That doesn't mean you abandon goals. It means your identity is no longer chained to them. Watts teaches that the goal of life is not to become something different, but to realize what you already are. Just like a wave doesn't have to prove it's part of the ocean, you don't have to prove your worth. You are the worth. You are life, witnessing itself. And that is freedom. You might be asking, okay, but how do I actually live like this? Start by questioning your deepest assumptions. What do you believe about success? About failure? About what makes a life meaningful? Trace each belief back to its origin. Did it come from your own direct experience, or was it inherited? When you feel urgency or fear, ask, whose voice is this? Is it your own? Or is it the echo of a system that taught you to fear stillness? Because here's the paradox. The more you slow down, the more you wake up. The more you let go, the more you receive. The more you stop striving, the more you align with the natural rhythm of life. And that rhythm is not linear. It's cyclical. It breathes. It flows. It dances. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by life, remember this. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. Your life is not a race. It is a work of art unfolding in real time. Alan Watts reminds us that life is like music. You don't listen to music to get to the end. You listen because of how it makes you feel right now. So why are you rushing through your own song? Why are you holding your breath, waiting for the chorus when the verse is where you're actually living? Maybe it's time to stop playing the game you were handed and start creating your own. Because the most profound rebellion isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the moment you choose to live your truth, even if no one else understands it. How to dance with uncertainty and win the game by letting go. If you've made it this far, you're already beginning to see something most people miss their entire lives. That certainty is a myth, and trying to control life is like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Alan Watts taught that our obsession with control is rooted in fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of death, the fear of not mattering. But here's the twist. What if uncertainty isn't the enemy? What if it's the very stage on which all of life's beauty is performed? Think about it. Every sunset, every conversation, every act of love or courage only matters because it's impermanent. It's the not knowing that makes life real. If you knew how everything would turn out from birth to death, would you even bother living? This is where letting go becomes the ultimate power move. not in resignation, but in deep trust. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop gripping so tightly that you miss the moment. It means you begin to engage with life like a surfer rides a wave, not trying to control the ocean, but learning to move with it. Life is not a machine to be engineered. It's a flow to be joined. Have you ever noticed how the most magical moments in your life were never planned? The spontaneous laughter, the unexpected kindness, the random decision that changed everything. That's what Watts means when he says, to have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. But we've been conditioned to believe that floating is lazy, that surrender is weakness. That's the ego talking. The ego wants to be the boss, the architect, the hero. But the soul wants to dance. And dancing requires trust. It requires presence. It requires that you don't know the next step, but you move anyway. In the game of life, the real winners are not the ones who control every outcome. The real winners are the ones who stay awake in every moment, who laugh when it rains, who cry without shame, who take risks not because it's safe, but because it's alive. So I'll ask you now, what are you still trying to control that's actually asking you to let go? What part of your life are you gripping so tightly that it's no longer breathing? Alan Watts reminds us that the game of life is not about safety, it's about aliveness. And aliveness only exists in the unknown. That's why we love stories, why we take trips, why we fall in love. Not because we know how it ends, but because we don't. So why are we trying to turn our lives into a formula, a checklist, a plan? Why are we afraid to fail when failure is often the only thing that wakes us up? If we really understood how temporary everything is, our pain, our joy, our relationships, even our identities, we'd stop trying to hold it all in place. We'd learn to love more freely, to take more risks, to rest without guilt, to start over without shame. Because in the end, life doesn't reward the most strategic player. It rewards the most authentic one. So here's the final truth. You win the game of life not by conquering it, but by joining it. By realizing you are not separate from it. You are not a guest in the universe. You are the universe in human form, pretending to be limited for a while. And when you begin to live from that place, not as a concept, but as a lived truth, everything changes. You stop fearing the unknown because you see that you are the unknown. You stop needing answers because you realize you are the question. And you stop trying to force meaning onto life because you realize that life is already meaningful, simply because it's happening. So let go, dance, laugh, cry, risk, love. Because this moment right now is the only game there is, and you're already playing it beautifully.